I think the only game I've replayed more than 10 times is Final Fantasy 15. But this game is coming up to that number, a game that completely took over my summer of 2023, Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 is hands down the best action horror survival, in fact, one of the best Resident Evil games I've ever played. This game was everything that I could have asked for. Good story, good combat, so-so pacing, great survival elements, you name it, Resident Evil 4 is the game. I have been very excited to make a video on Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil games in general, so sit back, relax, and let me yap about Resident Evil 4. Enjoy. Just a little bit of a story recap, Resident Evil 4 takes place after the events of Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil Darkside Chronicles. Leon ventures his way to a small village in Spain where he seeks to rescue the president's daughter, Ashley Graham. It seems like a regular mission, but in the town is shrouded in blood and with a disease called the Las Plagas. It's a very basic save the princess type of story, but the way it's told is just absolutely amazing. Now that we're done with the story recap, let's talk about the combat. My gosh, the combat is absolutely fantastic. While very challenging at times, the combat is one of the best combat systems in any Resident Evil game I've played. Sekiro undoubtedly changed the gaming industry with its parrying mechanics, and Resident Evil 4 does it so well. By pressing L1 at the right time allows Leon to parry attacks from different enemies, which lets Leon suplex them, front kick them, and roundhouse kick them, and it's so cool. As a Muay Thai practitioner, it's really cool to see Leon do all these cool flips and kicks and shit. You can also stab enemies if you are behind them if you want that stealthy type of play, or if they are on the ground. Leon has a wide variety of weapons such as guns, shotguns, TMPs, rifles, rocket launchers, flash grenades, regular grenades, bolt guns, etc. You name it, Leon can wield it. By taking previous elements from Resident Evil 2 and 3 Remake and even 7 and 8, you are finally able to run a little faster, and in general, fighting just feels so much better. Although you can just blindly shoot enemies, the game does make you think of what type of gun you should use against certain enemies. It's a very big step up, obviously, with Resident Evil 4 being more of an action game, but hands down, one of the best combat systems I've ever played, alongside with Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth's combat system. Art to me is the closest representation of what someone truly wants to convey. And so, while traversing through the small parts of Spain, looking around places, man, this game is gorgeous. This game came out on the PS4 and PS5, and even when I was playing the game on the PS4 for the first time, I kept saying to myself, how is this a game? Like seriously, this is one of the best looking games I've ever played, and I love the art direction that Capcom went for. The world in RE4 is exactly the one in the original, but with a new fresh palette of paint. Throughout the game, you go through woods, castles, villages, travel across water, caves, etc. The game is just visually stunning, and every corner you turn has so much detail. Hearing birds chirp, the wind moving, the trees, the footsteps from other people bring so much life to this game. But Resident Evil 4 does not fail to bring the horror that the original has. Even though Resident Evil 4 Remake and the original is an action game, it's still a Resident Evil game, keeping its core themes intact throughout the game. Resident Evil 4 Remake has some of the most fun boss fights ever. I don't really have much to say for this part of the video other than the fact that the music in these bosses are amazing. The way they're scaled and the critical thinking you have to make while fighting these bosses makes engagement and gameplay so much more fun. And trust me, just because I said they're fun doesn't mean that they're easy. They are hard. It requires a lot of skill. Most bosses have phases and certain movesets they have. It's very much akin to a Kingdom Hearts game and a Soulsborne game. With a great combat system and level design, makes bosses never seem like a chore. Every time you die, it's like, okay, I died. I did this and it didn't work. Let's strategize, let's think this through, which allows a lot of free range of ways to take down a boss. If you've played Resident Evil 2, you can tell the immense shift in Leon's attitude and his design in general. In the original Resident Evil 4, Leon is still Leon, but he seems more carefree.
I'm sure you boys didn't just tag along so we could sing Kumbaya together at some Boy Scout bonfire. Then again, maybe you did.
While in the remake, he's more serious and has a very strong tone. Don't worry, he's still goofy as ever.
Hasta luego. Talk about sticking the landing.
No food for you! Go to hell, you rusty piece of shit!
But I much prefer this Leon more than the one in the original Resident Evil 4, and it makes sense for Leon to act like this. He barely escaped Raccoon City, witnessing some of the most horrific things anyone can see, having his only friend die right in front of him just to become a zombie.
Oh no. Damn it.
Trusting the only person in the RPD only to have them backstab you. But hey, at least Claire is still cool. She's one of my favorite Resident Evil characters. I also really like Ashley. I think she serves her character well. She is what we all would feel if we were alone in a random place in Spain. She was isolated, hopeless, and her only hope was just Leon. So when we got to play as her when she's separated with Leon, I really like this segment of the game. She's all alone and left to fend for herself, and she handles it pretty well. With Leon by her side, she has the courage to go on and get the hell out of that place. The whole segment also just reminds me of Resident Evil 2, which is a really good touch. Luis is also a great character that serves his role perfectly in the game. He was a former researcher for Umbrella, and he finds himself caught in the mess that Leon and Ashley are in. He also has the cure to Las Plagas. He's kind of the comic relief character in Resident Evil 4. I think his character was decent. He goes from this mysterious guy that, as us players, feel like we can't trust him, but later on in the game, his attitude shifts to a more trustworthy character. That eventually helps us cure Ashley and Leon and Las Plagas. His death got me, and I felt the resolve and bitterness he had all the way up leading to his death. Overall, great character, cool guy. Just a little disclaimer. I would like to point out that I don't know why I thought Dark Side Chronicles was a movie. It's actually a game. So, I'm not going to bother redoing my voiceovers, but just ignore the fact that I call Dark Side Chronicles a film or a movie or, yeah. Anyways, back to the video. Krauser is also a character that returns from a previous Resident Evil movie. To be honest, I don't know much about Krauser, but he's pretty cool, I guess. He was Leon's old captain and mentor, and he led many victories for the US Army. Some stuff went down with an operation called Operation Javier, but I don't know much. It is cool to see him though. It provides a little more context to what Leon was doing after the events of Raccoon City. While his character wasn't really important to me, I like how Leon says he's lost all his honor, which gives more added detail to what type of person Krauser is. He's also really fun to play as in the mercenaries mode. It's so cool. Like, he does these cool like knife attacks, and I don't know, he's basically unstoppable. It's pretty cool. Resident Evil 4 Remake is simply a masterpiece. And before ending the video off, there was actually one more section I had wrote and wanted to talk about. But I plan on reviewing more Resident Evil games in the future, and I feel as if that part is more relevant in games like 1, 7, and 8. Not to say that it's not relevant in 4, but it's not really the focus. You'll know if you've played other Resident Evil games, or maybe that's just how I feel, but hey, that's just my opinion. Resident Evil 4 Remake gets every aspect of survival horror right. Gameplay, exploration, puzzles, bosses, and music, and characters. Everything about this game is brilliant, and Capcom managed to remake one of their most beloved video games of all time, and yet again, make it another masterpiece. And there you go, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you bothered to even watch this, I don't know how long, 8-9 minute video of me yapping about why I like Resident Evil. Thank you so much for the support, and subscribe, I guess, like, let me know what you thought of the video, and yeah, thanks.